Every night, millions of Muslims finish their day the same way. They check their phones, lock the front door, brush their teeth, turn off the lights, and go to bed. It feels ordinary, almost automatic. But over 14 centuries ago, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, treated these final moments completely differently. Today, we'll explore 6 authentic bedtime teachings of the Prophet, peace be upon him, what they mean, and why they still matter today. Habit 1. Letting children play outside at Maghrib. Most people think bedtime begins when they get into bed. The Prophet began preparing for the night much earlier, at sunset. The first prophetic instruction of the night happens the exact moment the sun disappears. The adhan for Maghrib is called. In many homes, children are still playing outside. Everything feels normal. You assume they will come inside in a few minutes, but the Prophet, peace be upon him, gave a specific instruction for this exact transition period. Jabir ibn Abdullah reported that the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "When night falls, keep your children close, for the devils spread out at that time. Then, when part of the night has passed, let them go." Look at the precise wording. When night falls. This refers to the beginning of the night, when daylight fades and darkness spreads. It's not a lifelong ban on children leaving the house after Maghrib. The Hadith explicitly states that after part of the night passes, the restriction is lifted. He specifically mentioned children, and he gave the reason. The devils spread at that time. This is knowledge of the unseen. We accept it because it comes through authentic revelation. Even today, sunset naturally marks the end of outdoor play. A parent calling their children inside at Maghrib looks like they're just following a normal family schedule. But for that parent, it is also an act of following the Prophet, peace be upon him. The action is the same. The intention changes everything. But once everyone was safely inside, the Prophet, peace be upon him, immediately taught the next step. And surprisingly, it wasn't about prayer. It was about something almost every one of us does without thinking. Habit 2. Closing doors. Locking your door at night is basic security, but the Prophet, peace be upon him, attached a spiritual condition to it that most Muslims completely miss. You come home, push the handle, turn the key, check the lock, walk away. It takes 2 seconds. It's purely muscle memory. The Prophet, peace be upon him, connected this automatic physical action to spiritual remembrance. He said, "Close the doors and mention the name of Allah, for Satan does not open a closed door." 2 actions. Close the door, say Bismillah. We explain exactly what the Hadith establishes. Satan doesn't open a door that was closed while Allah's name was mentioned. It does not say locks are unnecessary. Islam never asks you to choose between faith and practical action. You still lock the door. The remembrance of Allah doesn't replace the lock, it completes it. This is the same principle behind the famous Hadith, tie your camel, then trust in Allah. So tonight, when you close your doors, say Bismillah. By now, you may notice a pattern. None of these sunnahs is difficult. None require wealth. None take more than a few seconds. Yet the Prophet, peace be upon him, repeatedly taught them. Why? Because Islam isn't only concerned with extraordinary moments, it's equally concerned with ordinary habits. And the next habit proves that better than any other because it involves something many of us leave on the kitchen counter every single night. Habit 3. Leaving food uncovered overnight. You finish dinner, the leftovers sit on the counter. You're tired, so you decide to cover them in the morning. The Prophet, peace be upon him, gave a direct command against this. In the narration of Jabir, the Prophet, peace be upon him, instructed, cover the vessels and mention the name of Allah, even if you only place something across them. In another narration, he mentioned the historical and unseen reality. There's one night in the year in which pestilence descends, and it does not pass an uncovered vessel without some of it entering. We stop at the wording. The Prophet, peace be upon him, did not tell us which night. The instruction is simple. Cover it and say Bismillah. Notice the detail at the end of the Hadith. Even if you only place something across them. In 7th century Arabia, they didn't always have tight-fitting lids. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught that if you have no lid, still do something. Place a stick or a piece of wood across the opening. Covered food is protected from dust, bacteria, and insects. Food that needs refrigeration should not sit out all night. Put leftovers in a container. Cover them. Refrigerate what needs refrigerating. Say Bismillah while you do it. Nobody will see you do this. Nobody will praise you for it. But it is an act of following the Prophet, peace be upon him. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, didn't stop at food. The same guidance applies to what we drink. Habit 4. Leaving water uncovered. If you have a glass of water on your nightstand right now, look at it. Is it covered? Or it's a bottle with no cap, or a jug left open on the dining table? We never think twice about it. The Prophet, peace be upon him, instructed, tie your water skins and mention the name of Allah. A water skin was the primary drinking container of that time. It was made of leather, and its opening had to be tied shut so the water wouldn't spill or be exposed. Our containers changed. The principle didn't. Close the bottle, cover the glass, cap the jug. 1 second of effort. But that 1 second now carries the remembrance of Allah. Let's pause for a second. We've already covered 4 habits. None of them require money. None require hours of worship. Yet together, they reveal a pattern. The Prophet, peace be upon him, wasn't teaching complicated rituals. He was teaching Muslims to live with intention, to notice the small moments, to connect ordinary actions to Allah, and the final two habits make that lesson even clearer. Habit 5. Sleeping while fire remains lit. During the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, a house in Medina caught fire at night while the family slept. The cause was something small, a burning lamp left unattended. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, was informed, he did not treat it as a random accident. He gave a standing instruction to the Ummah. He said, "This fire is an enemy to you, so when you sleep, extinguish it." In another authentic narration, he specifically warned that a mouse could drag a lamp wick and burn the house down. A lamp in 7th century Arabia was an open flame. It was useful, but it turned deadly the moment it was left unwatched while people slept. That is why he called fire an enemy. Not because fire is bad, but because it is dangerous when uncontrolled. Today, that means candles, oil lamps, incense burners, fireplaces, gas stoves. Check the stove is off. Blow out every candle. Never leave incense burning while you sleep. Do not assume a small flame is safe. And there are modern hazards the Hadith doesn't name. Space heaters, damaged cables, devices charging under a pillow. Keep heaters away from bedding and curtains. Make sure your smoke alarm works, then go to bed. Because tawakkul, trusting in Allah, does not mean leaving a candle burning and expecting Allah to stop the fire. Trusting Allah includes taking the precautions He gave you. Put out the flame, then rely on Him. Now, the final sunnah turns to something much more personal. Habit 6. Sleeping without washing hands after eating. You've just eaten a heavy meal. Meat, rice, something oily. Your hands look mostly clean. You wipe them on a napkin, feel tired, and go straight to bed without washing properly. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever sleeps with grease on his hand and has not washed it, and something happens to him, let him blame no one but himself." The word used is gamar. It means the grease, smell, or food residue left on the hands after eating. Now look at that ending again. Let him blame no one but himself. That is unusually strong. It means the harm was avoidable. The solution took 30 seconds and the person skipped it. That is not tawakkul. That is carelessness. But notice what the hadith does not say. It does not mention devils. It does not mention nightmares. It does not mention sleep paralysis. Some scholars explain it practically. Food residue attracts insects or crawling creatures. That is a reasonable understanding based on the wording. But the hadith left the specific harm unspecified, and the action is clear either way. Wash your hands properly after eating. Use soap. Do not rely on a quick wipe if the grease and smell are still there. Clean your face if food is on it. Keep open food out of the bed. The sunnah isn't only about extraordinary acts of worship. Sometimes it's found in washing your hands before bed. So why did the Prophet, peace be upon him, care about these ordinary moments? Because Islam doesn't separate worship from daily life. The moments between finishing your day and falling asleep aren't empty. They're opportunities to remember Allah, to care for your family, to act responsibly, to follow the sunnah in ways that take only seconds. Here's the whole checklist. Bring young children close when night falls. Close the doors and say, Bismillah. Cover the food. Secure the drinks. Put out every flame. Wash your hands before bed. 6 habits. No fear, no superstition. Just remembrance, cleanliness, and responsibility. Maybe tonight, before you turn off the lights, you'll remember one of them. And perhaps that's how forgotten sunnahs come back to life, one small habit at a time.